you solve that? How do you build a culture of trust? Because one of the things that for Swivl, what we are trying to do and what we see the video being is building that culture of trust. We think by seeing and exposing what's happening in classroom, what's happening in meetings. A lot of times people now bringing Swivl and recording their staff meetings, their PLC meetings, their PD sessions, and kind of exposing it more and discussing it more, and so building that culture of trust. But what for you is what are the recommendations that the hot buttons for you to tell this is how you build a culture of support and trust?
Well, the first thing I think is it's good to paint a picture of what that would look like. So a culture of trust would be a place that you like to go to, and you feel you have friends there, and you feel comfortable saying, I need help with this. Mm-hmm. And you feel comfortable sharing ideas, and there's a sense of we know why we're here, what our purpose is, that we're here for what's best for kids. And because we have that overarching sort of belief, it's natural for us to support each other. In fact, we almost feel a kind of bond towards those people. But the big thing is it's a place we like to go, we feel safe, we feel encouraged. The second thing is it's not a judgmental environment. I think judgment kills intimacy and it kills learning. And so judgment is when I tell you you're not a good person. Judgment is not saying, here's what the data says, here's what I saw in the classroom. Mm-hmm. Time on task was 60%, we need to get up to way higher. Mm-hmm. Judgment is where you say time on task was 60% and you're doing something, you're a bad person because it's not higher. Mm-hmm. So if I feel judged, I'm not going to be willing to be open. I'm going to withhold my needs, and I'm not going to open up to somebody who's judging me. But also it's very hard to feel close to somebody or trust somebody who you judge. So you have to get rid of a culture of judgment. I think leadership has to recognize that the kind of conversations we have around video have to be non-judgmental. Michael Fullan in 6 Secrets of Change, he says one of the secrets of change is non-judgmentalism. You want to get to where there's transparency and openness. So for me, that's why we wrote Better Conversations. A book about conversations is so that schools and districts can really go deep into how they're communicating with each other. It's meant to be a way to create the right kind of culture, a culture where people supported and encouraged, and where learning drives the whole process. And that uses video. We video record conversations all the time. Principal can record conversations, coaches can record coaching conversations. Mm-hmm. Teams like you're doing with the Swivl, teams can record themselves, and every person can go back and look at the video and say, what can I do differently next time?
Right.
And there's other things about the kind of norms you establish and what leadership does, but it starts with getting feedback on what you're doing to create or inhibit the conversation. Not unlike a marriage, same thing there. You have to see what it looks like and get the data on what's happening for fear that your perception of what's happening is inconsistent with what's really happening.
I think it's also, in what we see it, as a technology provider, we work with lots of customers. I think a lot of people have an idea where they want to be. They have an idea of what they want to achieve. But a lot of times they never have gone through the process of kind of getting there, and their desires to kind of jump directly to that. So, you talk about the culture of trust. That's not something you can, if you're not there already, it's not something you can instantaneously go to. It's not something that you can instantaneously go from a team that doesn't talk to each other to a team that's encouraging, and you have to spend time, and I think the process is a lot of the time is slower than we would like it to be. It's slower to develop it took us 6 years to develop the product that we now can be proud of, but we had a vision that we want to do it right away, and the same thing in schools. They have, a lot of them have a vision of this is what we want our program to look like. This is what we want the teachers to use video, but it's steps, it's small steps. It has to start somewhere, and realizing that it's a process, I think, is one of the important things that we bring to the table. We always encourage people to. Especially we have customers who are going directly from never doing any video to wanting every teacher in the classroom doing a lot of video, where on one hand, we're very happy about it because we do know that that's the right way, but we also want to tell them, look, you have to have a process to how you're going to get there. What are the different things that you're going to include in what are they recording? Is maybe some of the self-reflection a better way to start than throwing everyone immediately into sharing a lot of video? Time is an important one. Like, start with smaller slices, start with things that you think are the most important before you make it all encompassing.